Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Excalibur Roundtable Tech Talk. I am Mike Fuson. This is part of our extended Tech Talk series with our partner, HaloITSM. I'm joined today by Tom Petley from Halo. Tom, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Hi, Mike. Yeah, great to be back.
And so one of the things we wanted to talk about, that's a question, Tom, as we do customer discussions and demos, which we collaborate extensively on. The question always comes up is, well, how long is it going to take to implement the product? And I've been hearing this for my 20 plus years in the ITSM space. And, the answer is, well, it kind of depends on what we're doing, right? It's a hard question to answer, but we can pretty confidently say with HaloITSM and a customer who's moderately prepared to talk about their processes, typical implementations times run 1 to 3 months, and that really is variable because it's going to depend on the number of process areas, the process complexities. You start looking at change management, and somebody has a complex approval process. Those take time to configure, but the timelines are relatively short. We can stand systems up, sometimes even in weeks. It really depends on what the customer's needs are. But because of the way the HaloITSM platform is built, where it's already out of the box, pre-configured, and well aligned with ITIL best practices from an IT perspective, other process areas that are available within the platform, this is an all-in-one solution, are aligned with their best practices, be it project management and the PMBOK, and you start to put in all the different best practice structures. But they're aligned with best practices and most common asked for configurations. And the product is completely codeless. The configuration is all done, web-based, and it's simple. We're able to very rapidly get customers stood up and operational and getting value from their HaloITSM platform very quickly. There are projects that go longer. We're not going to sit here and say they don't, because there are customers that some things are more complex, or as we start to peel back the layers on an existing process, they say, well, wait a minute, maybe we got to simplify this a bit. Over time, it's grown into a more complex process than might be necessary. But really, we've been able to fit anyone's timeline that's necessary, from ServiceNow replacements where we need like-for-like process capabilities, and a lot of cases those are fairly short time frames. Their existing license is going to time out in 3 to 4 months, and they need to be up and running. And we've been able to successfully do that, and it hasn't been kind of the march through the muck to get there. It hasn't been all-nighters for weeks on end. We've been able to do that successfully because Halo is designed for ease of configuration. So let's talk about that a little bit. You've seen a lot out there where, the reality is Halo in many cases is replacing the existing platform that's there. The ITSM market's a relatively mature market. Most people have something in place, even if it's just a ticketing system. So it is replacing something that they already have some process around. So talk to me a little bit about that, Tom. What do you see out there? What do you see happening in your experience? I know we've had some exciting ones in the past. I think a Sky Network in New Zealand, right? That was a lot in a fairly short period of time, but that was also a ServiceNow replacement. And that's not an uncommon thing, to replace not even arguably the number one platform that's out there. We've been replacing that because of the ease of use, the intuitiveness of the platform, but we're able to do that because of the ease of configuration.
Absolutely. I think we describe ourselves as a mid to high maturity tool, and that means customers come to us from kind of both ends of the spectrum. We've got people that maybe are using one of the lightweight tools, that maybe a help desk or a ticketing tool. Then we also have the other end with the ServiceNow users, where they've maybe kind of overextended or overcomplicated their processes and possibly paying too much or just too much to kind of maintain over time. So we kind of get both angles, if that makes sense. And for us, it's very much around, well, to be honest, this is grown from customer feedback, is that people want best practice. They want our experience. We do this every day. We've got dozens of people implementing Halo around the world, and we've grown to know what best practice is. We've got great experience in doing that, and people come to us and say, okay, we've kind of created our own processes to maybe meet this internal need, and we don't know if we're doing it right or not. So tell us what we should do and kind of lead the way a bit. So we've created these basically really mature processes. They're not complicated. They're not crazy difficult, but they are best practice, and anyone can just pick them up and kind of run with them. And as we have got those processes, they're not like hard code or anything. They're just us configuring the system in a way that we think is best for people to start with. And then from that kind of platform, we can then tailor it. We can add in, I don't know, escalation processes or certain workflows and things. Maybe there's a specific flow for a certain business app that you manage. Maybe that needs to go off somewhere else. That's just a case of changing the configuration, just adding extra rules in, or kind of adding a flow into the workflow, just things we can do with configuration. It's really, really quick. Then in terms of building off that, that process, if we just take incident management, for example, all we really need to put in is the services, the categorization, kind of SLAs. We're pretty much in a good place already to start using it. It's really quite a quick process to get each of these in. And the same kind of goes for requests in your service catalog, your service requests. Although there might be a lot more of them, there might be hundreds of them. The flows are going to be reasonably similar. They're not going to differentiate from kind of best practice too far, I wouldn't expect. So it's just a case of importing that volume of requests, and then we kind of associate them with the relevant processes we've already got. And again, we're kind of up and running pretty quick. And that has enabled us to, we've done ServiceNow migrations in a matter of a couple of months, which probably took 18 months to put in. It's kind of that kind of level of power that the software has, just from, I guess the praise goes back to the developers on that and the design team to build a platform that is quick and intuitive to use.
Well, and it is driven from the customer experience, right? Not only the customers that are consuming the platform, but also the administrators who have to administer it, right? It was designed to be easy to consume. It wasn't going to take 2 weeks worth of classes to understand how to build a form.
Yep.
Yeah, it's made to be very, very simple, and it's the same process no matter what you're doing within the platform. It's the same engines that run everything. So if you know how to make a form change for incident, form changes are no different in change management, problem management, or whatever department it is. And so it's that intuitive design that really makes it easy for us to be able to get this thing up and running, for customers initially, and for them to continue to evolve the product rapidly over time as their needs require.
I always kind of talk to you about that. Halo's a product you can grow with. You don't have to put everything in there day one. You can set your processes up. You don't have to do all the processes. You could say we're not going to do problem management from day one. We're going to get our incident processes bang on, or change management bang on, and then we'll add in the problems later. So it's something that's very much designed to grow with, and you can then grow with us as well as we release new features and things that kind of we want to put in, and kind of and other customers are feeding back to us. You can then kind of grow with that as well. So it's designed to be kind of part of the process.
Well, Tom, as always, thank you for joining me today and sharing your knowledge and being able to kind of talk through just how easy Halo is to implement for customers. I look forward to our next chat.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Right, and don't forget, those of you viewing, you can hit the Excalibur Data Systems website, excaliburdata.com, and sign up for your free trial of HaloITSM, fully functional trial. that'll let you get your feet wet, and Tom and I'd love to then talk to you about how we can help you leverage the power of HaloITSM. Thanks, everybody.